The other day I had somebody ask me, they wanted to know if it's extra challenging right now or if I always just talk about the challenges. And I was laughing because I thought, well, probably both. Being human equals having challenges in your life, right? I want to share how I view and frame challenges in my life, struggles, whatever it may be, and how we can sort of reframe this whole idea of challenges. Being human is going to create challenges for you, especially if you are consciously ascending. What happens is that we frame it as a bad thing or a negative thing or something that we don't want to experience, right? Challenges mean we're doing something wrong. Challenges mean that it doesn't feel good. We don't like it. We want to get out of it, right? The reason that we judge experiences, the reason that we don't like challenges, the reason that we frame it in a certain way is because we live in a consciousness, in a third dimensional field of consciousness that holds duality. Duality is created in this dense reality this dense consciousness that we're in, because there is such a vast array of consciousnesses to experience that you get to have the opposite experience of a consciousness. For instance, love and hate. Now, if you only felt love, you would not judge it as a good or a bad. The reason you judge love as feeling good is because you have felt hate or a denser consciousness, fear, something that is the opposite of love. And by feeling that, it gives you this matrix or this way of judging what feels better, right? But if you only felt love and you didn't feel all these other lower consciousnesses, you would never judge it. The same with lack and abundance, right? If you only felt abundance and we lived in a matrix or in a consciousness, in a field of consciousness and dimension that only held abundance, you wouldn't be judging it because you would have nothing to judge it against, right? You haven't felt lack, so you don't realize the difference between a lack consciousness and an abundance consciousness, right? So there's no judgment of it. If you only lived in a consciousness, in a dimension that gave you lack, you wouldn't judge lack because you wouldn't have ever felt abundant, right? Or know that there is an abundance to feel, right? Even if you've never felt abundance or you've never felt hate, you know that there is a consciousness that exists that holds that. You've heard people talk about it. You've watched people experience it. It's in your reality. So there's a judgment. Challenges are the same way. We judge it. And there is nothing wrong with challenges and struggles. Nothing. So that's the first thing we really want to start to get aware of. Why am I judging this experience? Oh, I live in duality. Oh, it's because I've had other experiences that have felt different than this, opposite of this. Oh, because I've watched other people have these really amazing experiences. That's why I'm judging. So first, let me become the observer and let me look at how I am framing this experience. Okay, so that's the first thing. Can I look at my challenges and my struggles through the eyes of neutrality as much as possible? There's nothing wrong when I'm in a challenge, when I'm in a struggle. And the second thing is, and this is what I do every single time I find myself in any sort of discomfort, squeezing through some sort of situation or experience, in a challenge where I'm like, God, why am I in this? Why am I feeling this? Whatever it may be, right? It is always, unequivocally, without a doubt, an opportunity. That's how I see my challenges. It is my higher self saying to me, you're ready. You are ready to step out of this old way, and we are opening a gateway or a door that feels like a struggle in order for you to push through the old ways and step into a new way of being, a being in a higher frequency, a being in a higher state of consciousness, meaning I am now going to be living and experiencing myself in a different frequency, in a different state of consciousness, releasing the older or lower consciousnesses that I was living in. No right, no wrong, just how it is, just how consciousness exists. So every time a challenge comes up, whatever it may be, what are my beliefs around it? What is it asking me to see? Why is my higher self bringing it to me? What am I fighting up against? What am I hitting the wall with? Belief systems, emotions, a person, right? If you are challenged or going through a challenge where you are always in this lack mentality and you're so tired of it, right? You're so exhausted. You're so tired of always just wondering, when am I going to have money? When am I going to have money? If that's a challenge and you're really feeling that challenge strongly right now, it is your higher self saying you are ready to step out of lack mentality. You are ready. And so then you have to start to look at what are the tapes playing? What are the limiting beliefs that are creating the challenge? And then you have to say, okay, am I ready and willing to step out of this? Am I willing to let it go? Which then means, am I ready to step into abundance? Or am I ready to step into a flow state where I know that I can be taken care of, right? This isn't necessarily easy, right? Abundance and lack is a massively large struggle. But let's just say a struggle like a relationship, right? And you know that it's a struggle right now, and you know that there's going to be a time where you have to leave the relationship, right? Think to yourself, instead of this sucks, I hate being in this is so challenging, I'm suffering, blah, 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 right? Just like playing in the victim mentality. Can you start to say, oh my God, this is my higher self coming in and saying, hey, you're ready to release this older way of being. Nothing wrong with older. That's just the word the humans use, okay? There's not necessarily another word to use. There's just duality in all of our words, right? But this is an opportunity my higher self is giving me to look at the ways I have been and how I am being asked to step into this higher version of me, where I'm being in a different state of consciousness. Reframing the challenge. What is the challenge asking me to look at? What is the challenge saying to me, right? What is happening in the challenge? Can you look at the challenge as a ball of consciousness or a field, right, of experience? And that challenge is asking me to let go of something so that I can step into a new version of me. Ascension is always moving into the next highest version of you by increasing your frequency within your form. That's ascension. So essentially, we are always being given opportunities to step into the next highest version of us, which means we have to let go of the old ways of being, which means that there are going to be challenges that we are going to face in order to make sure that we can let go of the old ways of being. This isn't for all consciousnesses or all experiences, right? But there's a lot of experiences, a lot of belief systems, a lot of behaviors, a lot of ways in which you've been being that you are going to have to let go of, right? As you move into these higher states of consciousness within your body and you start to move into the higher aspects of you standing in this multidimensionality. And the way that we are, as third dimensional human aspects, navigating this, it can look like a challenge. So when you're faced with a challenge or a struggle, move above it, look at it from a higher perspective, and remember, this is your higher self saying to you, you are ready to shift. You are moving into a new version of you. What are we asking you to release? Instead of, this sucks, I'm in a struggle, I can't get out of this, poor me, why me, I don't understand, like that whole victim mentality that we fall into. No, we're not victims, we're creators. And we're here to continuously ascend into the next highest version of us. So look from a higher perspective. There's no duality. If you can see it from a neutral place, it'd be a lot easier. And it is always here. Struggles and challenges are coming in to show you what you're ready to release and what you are stepping into. Reframe the struggle. Reframe the challenge. And the more you get present in the present moment, in the present now, you feel everything that is being asked to release. So you're not in any sort of past experience or future experience. You're just in the now, letting yourself say, oh, look at what I'm thinking. Oh, look at what I'm feeling. Look at what I'm experiencing that's being asked to be released so I can step into this. You get real clear on what it is. The more clear, the more present you get, the more clear you get on what is occurring. Get present and you'll figure out quickly what's going on. I hope this is helpful. I love you all so much. Be so gentle with yourself. And remember, challenges are part of the human journey, especially if you're consciously ascending. There is nothing wrong with a challenge, and every challenge is asking you and providing you an opportunity to step into the next highest version of you.